Hi everyone, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how I paint my Zbrush sculptures. I'll walk you through it step by step and I'll show you how you can take a sculpture like this one and paint it in a way that looks very realistic and natural in just a few minutes. Now I am using a custom material here to help me push the realism further. If you want to grab it, the link is in the description below, but you can follow along without it too. Just use one of Zbrush's default materials. Without further delay, let's get started. Let's start by selecting the paintbrush. This is probably the only brush that I'll be using in this video. I'll also drag the color menu over to the side of the viewport so it's more accessible. Now I can get started on selecting my base color. I don't have a specific color in mind here. Usually a medium beige color works well as a starting point that you can refine later. Now we're ready to start painting. I'll paint in the large color variations first. I'm mostly looking at my reference here and just trying to exaggerate the colors a bit and introducing warmer and cooler color zones where it makes sense. I also like to keep a plane right next to my model where I paint all the colors that I'm currently using. As you can see, this just makes it easier for me to sample colors later without having to dig through the color editor. My only plan at this stage is to just experiment. I'm just painting in large brush strokes until the sculpture starts looking more visually appealing. Once we're happy with how the main color zones look, we can start using color to help us define the forms of our model. If this is done right, you can use darker and lighter color values or different tones and hues to emphasize certain parts of the sculpture. Now, this isn't the most realistic approach. Obviously, if you look at 3D scanned models, they don't really have this kind of color gradients that follows the forms in this way. But I feel like this approach kind of gives you more artistic control, and if it's done right, it can improve how the sculpture looks. You just need to be subtle, otherwise it can end up looking a bit too stylized, which is not what we're going for here. You can spend as much time as you want in this stage, and once you're ready to add in the smaller details, we have a few options on how we can do that. If your geometry already has enough detail, we can use masks to reuse some of that detail in our colors, or we can also use alphas to help us with detailing, which is what we'll be doing here. As you can see, I'm selecting some organic looking alphas and changing the brush mode to either drag or spray. I'm just going over the model here and adding smaller local color variations. And that's it. Here's the final result. Quick recap of what we've done so far. You first block out your colors with large brush strokes and add color zones. Then use colors and values to help you define the forms. But keep this effect as subtle as possible because you don't want it to get too stylized. Then continue refining the paint for as long as you need, and finally add your detail. If you found this video helpful, if you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.